let's go down our list, or we'll go spot by spot. Who do you have number one for MVP right now, Steve?
Well, that's still Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for me right now.
Okay.
I think he's played entirely too well, and the Thunder have played entirely too well. And so it's going to be one of those scenarios where, for me, someone's got to knock him off. It's not a discredit to the other two people I have on my list, and they are very real MVP candidates. But the command that he's had offensively, being able to get to the spots when he wants to, adding the step back three, the playmaking getting better as far as understanding where the doubles and the help is coming from, and just kind of being in control of this team that's played so well so far this season, and doing it in limited action for a lot of the time where, hey, he's not even playing in a lot of fourth quarters. I don't deny that at this point in time. So at this checkpoint, Shai would be my MVP, number one, numero uno. How about you?
Okay, that's fair. Well, this is kind of boring. I think we do have the same number one right now. I also still have Shai. And I think, one, it's very easy to make the Shai or the Jokic case. And so you've already kind of laid the groundwork, but I agree with you. Like, if you have Jokic one, there's no real issue there. And we're going to get into our Jokic cases on top of that. But with Shai, as of recording, 32.4 points per game. He's converting 60% of his twos, shooting 44% from three on real volume, 88 from the line, getting to the line a bunch. I know everyone loves that portion of the piece. The playmaking has leveled up. He is processing the floor more quickly. When teams put two on the ball against Shai, he has diagnosed that more quickly. He has performed better against that particular coverage. That was something that you could slow him down with a little bit last year, was still fine against it overall. He has gotten much better at that. And it's not just the isolation package for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like, the pick and roll play has improved, as noted. You can use him off the ball. He'll be used as a screener. There really isn't much you can do with him. And now that you add in the step back three that we recently broke down with him, there just isn't much you can do with Shai. And the fact that he is doing this while also being a positive defender, not going to make an all defense case for him. That is too rich for my blood. But he's been a positive defender on what has been easily the best defense in basketball this year. A historically good one at that. While doing so on what is still on track to be the greatest regular season team of all time, at the very least.
Oh, I don't know. Someone disagrees with that.
He sure doesn't. He'll be playing later tonight against the New York Knicks. But even with that, that was loss number 2 for the season for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Still very much on pace to win 70 plus. Like, Shai has been at the center of one of the most dominant stretches of basketball that we have ever seen. And so while you can make a very strong case for Nikola Jokic, again, we're about to talk about it shortly, since I would imagine he's number 2 on both of our lists, Shai still has the edge for me right now. I will say, before I toss the mic back to you, Steve, and we kind of flow into either more Shai talk or Jokic talk, it is kind of fun through the context of this award that both players are dealing with the I am carrying these loads while guys are missing. Like, that game against the Spurs was the first time all season the Thunder had their ideal starting 5 all year. And Nikola Jokic, we haven't seen Aaron Gordon in a while. We haven't seen Christian Brown in a while. We're going to talk about that Rockets-Nuggets game from last night because, good gracious, what a basketball game that was. Peyton Watson goes down in the first half, doesn't play in the second half or overtime. So no telling how long he's going to be out. And still, Shai has been a metronome on offense. And still, Nikola Jokic has been a triple-double machine. And both of these guys have been insanely efficient. So, like, it's been crazy watching these two work. I do still have Shai in the lead slightly right now.
Well, it's also interesting. I feel like for some, they look at Shai and they're like, well, the Thunder are a machine. Why are we handing this to him? And they look at Denver and they're like, well, Jokic is a machine, but they have more depth now. Jamal Murray's playing well. And Aaron Gordon was playing well. So I wonder if they have gone through these stretches to lift their teams, but some may look at them and say, well, your team is just good. So what's the expectation? I'm curious as to how people feel about that.
Yeah, like, it's a different year. Like, they showed a graphic, again, during the Rockets-Nuggets games we're going to talk about a little bit later. But they showed a graphic, I think, heading into the third quarter of, like, the on-off stuff for Jokic over the past 5 or 6 years. And you just see the stark, well, they're, plus 10, plus 11, plus 13, et cetera, with Jokic on the floor. Then you look at that right column, and they are getting blasted in every year except this one. And then you look up this morning, spoil a little bit of what I have on the Jokic front, a plus 12.3 net rating with Nikola Jokic on the floor for the Denver Nuggets, still an elite mark. Shai had a plus 20.1, by the way. But Denver, slight positive. with Jokić on the bench for the first time.
Yes.
And I don't know.
We did it. Girl, we did it. It's over. No more. Yeah!
So, like, it's one of those things where this is obviously a very good thing for the Denver Nuggets, and shout out to JV and Bruce Brown, and everyone has stepped up with the second unit. Jamal Murray spearheading that hybrid second unit with Jokić on the bench. But through the context of the MVP race, to your point, I wonder how people are going to deal with that part. Because that is, it was valid, but there was also an easy button that you could press with Jokić. He's got these box score numbers, and the Nuggets are just 30 points better per 100 possessions with Jokić because the bench gets killed when he's off the floor. Mm-hmm. Removing that aspect of it, again, you can still easily make a Nikola Jokić first place case. You have to do it without that easy button, at least so far this year. And so, again, it's doable. I'm excited to hear people that are watching these games do that, because you can still very much do that.
Oh, well, we agree. Jokić is second, right? Like he's just been an insane person this year as far as, I'm going to score the ball when I'd like to score the ball in any kind of way. Casual three, I got you. Give me the ball in the middle of the court. You don't know what's going to happen. It may be a drive. It might be a shot. I might go to a handoff. There's no telling. Any sort of help that you would like to display, I know where it's coming from, and the pass is going exactly where it needs to go. And, by the way, I'm just going to go HB dive, drive, hit you real quick, score. Doesn't matter. So it's like, he's going to be one of those people that's health provided, going to be in these conversations until, I don't know, who knows, the end of time, maybe. I'm not sure. But he's too productive on the court. And then defensively, I feel like he's done his job this year. You need me at the level? I'm at the level. You need me, we're switching, I can do a quick switch. You need me at the baseline, I can rotate. Like, I do what I do, and that's it.
Actually, can I pause right there? Because that just sparked the thought/question from me.
What you got?
Because I think, and we've kind of talked about the Jokić defense throughout the history of this podcast, when it's been, hey, we need more effort from you. What is this? People are putting you in action. To, hey, Jokić is doing his job. To, hey, Jokić is actually just kind of good during this stretch or during this season, particularly the year Denver was top 10 in defense a couple years ago. And like even this year, I feel like we've seen all of the waves of that. Mm-hmm. To your point, I can get up to the level. We cool. I can play drop and navigate that well, a little bit more hand activity. We can do some of the cross matching. I want to put, I'll defend, quote unquote, a non-shooting wing so I can stay near the basket. We've also seen some of these stretches for the Nuggets where, we talked about them earlier this year. They were like a top 5, top 6 defense. And then they slid after like a week and a half, 2-week stretch. And Jokić was a part of that. I wonder broadly how Jokic's defense and how Shai's defense is going to factor into this conversation and how heavily. Because I said, Shai's been a positive defender in my opinion. I do agree with you overall, like Jokić has done his job. But like both of them have had these stretches where, again, Jokić can force turnovers because of the active hands. Like he is just automatically valuable because of the way that he ends possessions and how he can bring the ball up the floor from there to add that value. Shai, I think the one thing that has always been true for him, if you want to poke at him, post him up. They're going to stash him on a bigger guy or just a non-activity, initiator. We can post him up. He's been so much better at like swimming around and getting deflections when teams try to post him up. But like Shai can still fall asleep off the ball. Like he hasn't been a perfect defender either. So like I just wonder like how people are going to factor in that part for both of them.
Probably say that they're not good at defense and call it a day. Would be my guess.
Oh,
if I was being cynical. But I think the Thunder context doesn't necessarily allow you to see what Shai does defensively because they have all of the defenders. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if he pays a tax there or if it gets in consideration. I think with Jokić, there's a lot of, well, Denver's this defensively, he's this defensively. His mistakes are louder. So you can kind of see that a little bit more. And many people just may have that picture of him painted already. And so that's always going to be present as far as, well, I like my MVP to get it done on both ends type beat.
Yeah. It's funny you say that and then we can pivot. Like, I think some of the Shai mistakes on defense this year have probably annoyed me a little bit more than they have in years past because of how good this defense is. It's just like, dog, what excuse do you have? Like, the obvious answer is that you are dropping an efficient 30 on the other end, of course. But, like, I'm looking at some of the lineups that you're in. All you have to do is not ball watch. In fact, what are you ball watching for? Alex Caruso's getting a stop. Kaysen Wallace is navigating. You ain't even got to just make sure you don't lose yours. Like I get a chuckle of, twice a game with some of the off-ball stuff for Shai. But either way, again, even with that, I think he still grades out and has overall been a positive on that end. So I'm curious to see what that port's going to look like. But to the Jokic bit, 30 points a game, 69% on twos, 43% on threes on real volume, 84 from the line, leads the league in rebounds, leads the league in assists, over 2 stops per game. Mentioned a little bit earlier, plus 12.3 on-court net rating for Nikola Jokic. The Denver Nuggets are just blitzing teams with him on the floor, as they always do. Shai first in EPM, if you care about that. Jokic second in EPM, if you care about that. I think whatever order you put them in, I think this is the very clear top 2 right now.
That's fair.
So I've had a lot of fun watching.
Now, I'm going to give you my number 3.
Okay.
It was my preseason pick. Luka Dončić is number 3 for me. And it's a close to 34, 8, and 8. Like, just lead the league in scoring. I'm also 3rd in assists, and it doesn't matter what defense you throw at me. I'm just going to throw it over the top rope. I'm going to put 2 on the ball. That's an assist. You want to go drop? That's fine. I'll ISO one-on-one, fade away, just hit you with whatever you want. Nekias, Luka leads the NBA in first quarter scoring, averaging 12.8 points a game.
That tracks.
Luka Doncic's first quarter scoring would be like the 90th best scorer in the NBA right now. It's not how that's really supposed to work. And so watching him just operate almost unbothered almost every time he's been out there has been fun to watch, because it's just like, hey, I truly, it does not matter what you do. I am going to do what I want to do, get to my spots, make the shots I want to, make the plays, and we're going to deal with it. So I think he's been insane this year.
No, I think that's fair. And I think I gave the games played thing at the top. If not that, or if Luka had literally played one more game, he's just number 3, and we're just done with this conversation. Because I agree with everything that you just said. The scoring has popped. I talked a little bit earlier this year about what he's been doing inside the arc and what he's been doing for floater range in particular. Like, he started the year making 70% of those. Like, it wasn't sustainable. It hasn't been sustainable, but he's still been elite in that area. And like, the pacing always stands out with Luka Dončić. You cannot speed him up. Likely because he's bigger and stronger than you. But even if you do put a big wing on him, you can't really knock him off his pace. He's going to get to where he wants to get to. He is reading the lower portion of your defense the whole time. If you help, there's a kick, there's a lob, and he may fake either one of those and then just get into a contested shot that you feel good about defensively and then immediately feel bad because the ball went into the basket anyway. And I think through the broader context of this Lakers season, 1, he's just been their best player. But 2, like, the Lakers, as of recording, they're 3rd in the West right now, Steve. Now, virtual tie with San Antonio. But like, they're 3rd in the West, and considering how tough the conference is, and considering what the overall defensive personnel for this Lakers group is, and considering some of the injuries and things that they've dealt with this year, the Lakers probably shouldn't be a top 3 team in the West right now. Like, they should be like 5th or 6th. Wow. Maybe 7th, considering how like tight things have been. But like, that's kind of what I would project, because again, less about like the Lakers are quietly bad or anything like that. That's not the case I'm making. But just the West is tough. And if you deal with that while the West is tough, you're just naturally lower in the standings because of the competition. The fact that they're 3 and they're a game behind Denver right now speaks to how good Luka has been within this context. And so again, like, he would just be my easy number 3 had he qualified, but he did not, which then opens up the Pandora's box for me. Okay. Because I was like, ooh, well, if Luka doesn't qualify with 19 games and Giannis doesn't qualify with 17 games and Wemby just got back and he's on the minutes restriction right now anyway, did not matter against the Thunder, good God. But who do I have? And so here are some of the names that I was considering for this 3rd spot, Steve.
Okay.
We'll start out West since we're here. So as you know, we've mostly had this conversation offline, but Alperen Şengün versus Kevin Durant for like the MVP rep in Houston has been an interesting one for me. I have largely been on the Şengün side because of, more growth defensively, but offensively, use him as a hub, use him as a post scorer. He's just been incredibly good. The box score stats are there, et cetera. So I was thinking about him and Kevin Durant. One of the things that has swung in the KD direction, since we've more like recently talked about this, like, it was all of that Şengün stuff, and then also, if you look at their minutes together, like, they're blasting teams. But when you look at like Şengün on without KD, KD on without Şengün, for most of the year, the Şengün lineups have just been blitzing teams, and they are still been very good. over this recent stretch of games, like the KD lineups are performing better now. So it's like, okay, I can still make the Şengün case. I can't use that nugget to make the case, at least not right now. I still feel better about Şengün overall, but like that has gotten closer for me since the last time we talked about it. So consider KD and Şengün.
Kevin Durant is also on my list. He's been very important for Houston with the shot making. Don't sleep on the weak side defense. He's been really important. Who else was on the list, Nekias?
Okay, so those two in the West. You've brought him up, and we've both kind of talked about Minnesota this year. And just trying to figure out what exactly is going on here. Anthony Edwards has just been insane. Just a lot of quiet growth in his game in terms of how quickly he's processing things, what he's doing inside the arc. You know, there was the preseason stories about him working on the post game and just in general getting more comfortable with mid-range shots. But he's just been incredibly good. 29 points a game, 5 boards, 4 assists, nearly 64 true shooting for Anthony Edwards, which is easily a career high for him. And it's not like the offense for Minnesota has been very good overall. It's not like it's been perfect context for Anthony Edwards offensively this year.
Okay.
He's just quietly leveling up, and the Minnesota Timberwolves are a top 6 team in the West right now. So thought about Anthony Edwards.
Also in the conversation. Continue.
There we go. You go out east, Steve.
About to say.
You want to chuckle?
Yes.
So one, Donovan Mitchell has just been nuts for this Cleveland group that is still trying to find itself. And like listening to the post-game interview, I think after the Charlotte game, where he did not have his best outing. And he was like, yeah, this is my fault. If I play better, we win. Like, I know my teammates aren't going to say that. Like, I can't afford to have a bad game. Like, I know my teammates won't say that, but I'll say that. And I'm just like, one, like, I appreciate the accountability, but I've always kind of felt weird when players do that. It's just like, no, we have eyes. Like, yes, you could have played better, but like.
That's leadership, though, Nekias.
It is. It is. Like, again, I understand why you do it and why it works. And like, I ultimately commend them for it. But like, I also just like, I watched that full game. Like, no, you didn't make the shots that you do, but I'm also looking at the attention that you get. And I'm looking at some of these breakdowns from others. This is going to be a Cavs segment. Like, this is just not your fault. But Donovan Mitchell, career high, nearly 31 points per game. He's also converting 60% of his twos, Steve. Which, when's the last time we had 2 high-volume scoring guards convert 60% of their twos? Because like Shai and Donovan Mitchell are just doing that right now. And that should not happen. It shouldn't be 1. The fact that it's 2 is kind of nuts. But 31, 5, and 6 for Donovan Mitchell right now. If you care about the on-off stuff, a plus 7.6 net rating with him on the floor, which is eerily similar to the next guy that I'm going to talk about. A minus 6.3 with him off the floor. So a near 14-point swing, one of the bigger swings that we have in the Eastern Conference. Among the guys that have played at least 20 games to this point of the season, he's 4th in EPM if you care about that. And again, I mentioned Shai's 1, Jokić is 2nd right now. Do you know who's 3rd on that listing?
I do not. Who?
It's Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh my.
Would not have guessed that one, would you?
No.
It's a very funny bit. But either way, thought about Donovan Mitchell. Cade Cunningham, who is leading the best team in the Eastern Conference right now.
Yeah.
Averaging 27, 6, and 9. Plus 8 with him on the floor. So handily winning those minutes. Like the efficiency stuff with Cade is always going to like ding him in conversations like this because you have to split hairs with so many great players. So like he is technically below league average efficiency. But then you think about what his context is.
I'm about to say, get the efficiency out of here, buddy. He's operating a box. I'm getting whatever spot I want to. I'm playing pick and roll with Jalen Brunson. Everyone's focused on me. I'm locked in. Efficiency should not be the standard. It should be saluted. It's not hard to be. I mean, it's not easy to be efficient.
It's not.
Swear out my face, man.
Not get the word out of your face, but it's like, again, like the context makes that tougher for Cade. Now, I will say, hasn't been the best 3-point shooting season for Cade. Taking a lot more pull-ups, which I generally enjoy, so I think it's a net positive. But again, we are splitting hairs with a bunch of great players. It's like, it's like 32, 30%. The finishing for Cade has been kind of odd. Like that's probably the bigger, like actual thing that matters for me when it comes to the Cade Cunningham experience this year. The foul drawing is up, so that's helpful. But like there are just like 2 or 3 a game where it's like, didn't really like the lift on this finish. Didn't really like which hand he used on this finish. So we're gonna see if that perks up, gets more consistent, etc. But Cade Cunningham's been great this year, and he is the biggest reason why Detroit is at the top of the Eastern Conference standing. So thought about him naturally.
Okay.
How do we feel about Tyrese Maxey?
That's
in this conversation?
Not the Eastern Conference guard I thought you were gonna go to. I think Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry are just kind of in a section of the MVP conversation where it's like I get it, but also.
Mm-hmm. I got you. And don't worry, I didn't forget about that guard. I just want to bring his name up, Maxi's name up first. But 13 and 10 in the games that Maxi's played in so far. 31.5 points, 52% on twos, 39% on threes, 88 from the line. He's getting to the line more. Career high in assists for him. The defense has really perked up from last year, Steve, which I think is kind of the quieter bit of the Maxi season. Still isn't perfect. He is a small guard at the end of the day. But like the compete level for him has been really impressive to me, especially when you factor in we haven't had Embiid, and then it's been Embiid ramp up. We haven't had Paul George, then it's Paul George ramp up. We had VJ Edgecombe, did he miss some time? And Tyrese Maxey's doing this while playing 40 minutes a night. And the Sixers are still in a playoff spot right now. So like I felt like his name at least deserved to be said in this conversation.
No, I get it. I think the tricky part is like him and Donovan need wins on their side, especially with two other guards in that conference doing insane things. You start to split hairs between them very quickly, and they're all kind of tasked with, hey, we got to do a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. So it gets tricky. Go ahead.
No, understood. And then the last guy that I like seriously consider for this, Jalen Brunson, who has been, I was to say like the last name I want to mention in this conversation, not the last name I thought about, because ultimately I think I just land with Brunson at 3 right now.
Okay.
Jalen Brunson has been so good for this Knicks group. And in the midst of the changes offensively, more touches, less touch time for him. He ceded more control in that aspect. But when he gets it, he just kills you, Steve. Quietly a career high in scoring for Jalen Brunson right now. 55% on twos, which should not happen for a guy his size. 38% on threes, 84 from the line. It's not a career high in assists, but this is the best that I felt about Jalen Brunson's playmaking in his career. Like I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the lob passing with Jalen Brunson in particular. But like he is just doing such a better job of reading and navigating the different coverages that defenses throw at him. And for him to really be leading this charge for the Knicks as they get closer to overtaking Detroit for that top spot. It was between, like, once I actually got to the nitty gritty of this, it was between Brunson, Cade, and Mitchell for like that final spot.
Okay.
I did land on Brunson though.
Okay.
Because like he has just meant so much. The fact that he can still be himself while also ceding a little bit of control in this offense to make the whole thing work. Like that has spoke to me so far this year.